So really big news. The entire list of competitors for 2021 has been finally been revealed. Everything's up on the Battlebots website, and they haven't organized it yet into a list for the whole season. But everything is here. I think I haven't noticed anything missing. I don't. Honestly, there aren't much surprises. Most of it hasn't changed from my last video, so I definitely won't be taking as long of a time as that one took. That one was very wordy. But I just want to take a look at it, see if there's any new bots. I've already looked through the list, so yeah, just here are some of my quick thoughts. Big Dill is the first bot on the list. There's no arrow to the right here. And interesting, we have no bots with the letter A. Emmanuel Carrillo is back. And I really love seeing how builders change their robots after losing. Um, and so here you can see that it's very obviously taken inspiration from their losses to both Rotator and Gigabyte, with the sloped armor on the inside as well, since Gigabyte nearly split one of their front wedges in half. So that's pretty cool. Big Dill's a very powerful lifter, and hopefully we get to see. There are a whole lot more control bots coming back this year, so I hope we get to see some really technical fights with them. Black Dragon, yes. These guys always entertain. They were the semi-finalists this year, losing to Whiplash. They're always a strong team. Last year, the number 5 seed. They're all students. So I think they've got their school as one of their sponsors down there. So very cool, very good team. We'll see what they can do. And Minotaur's back this year, so we've got another Brazilian bot for them to hang out with as well. Blacksmith, this is a fun one. So the big time hammer has been changed to a big time hammer saw. It still spits fire from the tip right there. Al Kindle's back. He's always made really defensive robots. That saw doesn't look as big or powerful as, like, say, Saw Blazes, but he's always had, his strength has always been durability. So I guess hopefully they don't make him fight Minotaur for a third time. Or Witch Doctor for a third time. Let's just say that. Okay, Blade. I remember seeing this one before, and everyone was calling it Orby Blade, but turns out Orby is the name of the team, Blade is the name of the robot. They are from Korea, and even though it says they're a rookie, they have competed robots before. Their color scheme reminds me of Hypershock, and I didn't realize this before, but it's actually not an undercutter, it's a mid-cutter, very similar to Tombstone. They've got that wedge in the back like Cobalt did in 2016. I like that they're allowing more mid-cutters besides just Tombstone into the show. I've heard a lot of good things about Orby, so yeah, I hope to see some big hits from them. Blip. This is great. It's got the eyes. It's got Johnson and Johnson MedTech, captained by Aaron Hill and Seems Reasonable Robotics. That is the team behind Tantrum, the semifinalist from 2020. Blip is a very unique robot. It's a launcher. It uses like a flywheel or something. Oh yeah, it could also do wheelies on command. So that's really interesting. I don't know how wheelies are going to help Blip, but from what we've seen from Tantrum, it's definitely going to be well armored. And one of the disadvantages that flippers typically have is that they're very large, very hard to maneuver. And so seeing something that can launch something like Bronco with the maneuverability of Tantrum and the armor of Tantrum, that's exciting. Bloodsport's back. Justin Marple is still the team captain. One of the biggest changes I remember that he was talking about on his YouTube channel was these wedgelets. They were flying off far too easily in some of their earlier matches. I want to say against like Lockjaw. And so they're going to fix that. The wedgelets are going to be bolted on a little tighter, or the hinges are going to be a little more sturdy. They were meant to come off, but they fell off even too easily. It's funny that they keep their old design for the bar on their shirts, even though their main weapon is now the Tri-Blade. But Bloodsport's a really well-engineered robot. Like, check out their YouTube channel. Their stuff is great. Captain Shredderator. Yes, they're back again. They never seem to win all that much you know, spin to win, but they always entertain. Their match against Axe Backwards last year was incredibly fun to watch. You know, any fight with Captain Shredderator in it, it's gonna be entertaining, win or lose. Who did they play last year? The Bronco Bounty. Ah, yeah, I forgot about this fight versus Sharkoprian, which was actually just Sharko. They did lose to Rotator, but again, that was a really entertaining match. So they're great. I don't know if they're still using the 2003 tech that they were going on about last year. You know, check out Tail of the Tape for some technical details that I definitely am not educated enough to tell you about. Claw Viper, they're also back. I remember the show highlighted their really unique grappling system and their really light, fast drive system. Hopefully, it doesn't have that issue where it knocks itself into a wall and then has drive issues for the rest of the match. That happened a couple times last year, especially in their match against, I want to say, Gigabyte, Kevin Milcheski from Seattle. Very cool. Yeah, I really like the change to the white weapon. I think that's fun. Too many teams just go for dark black colors, and it's got the scales. Kind of reminds me of Hydra from 2016. Or not 16, 19. Gosh. Cobalt, yes, this is one of the, I want to say this is the only British team that ended up actually making it to the competition. Um, like, the team is Robotic Death Company, but the Robotic Death Company is only babysitting the robot because Team Carbide, the builders of Cobalt, were stuck in Britain in August when it was filming because of travel restrictions, which sucks. We were supposed to get Monsoon too, and I'm really bummed about that. Copperhead, they're great. They made it to the Bounty Finals in their Bounty Hunters fight. They were the number 3 seed. Very strong, very entertaining robot. And the Coens are now the captains instead of Zach Goff. I remember last year Zach was having them drive, I think, against Rusty. So they're definitely well prepared for this role. They've been on the team for a while, and they've got an actual snake, which is awesome. Deadlift, these guys, I think these guys are so much fun. You know, every team's got a gimmick, but this is one that I definitely didn't see coming last year. And even though their performance last year might not have been all that impressive, they were a rookie team. And this year it looks like they've brought a very sturdy grappler, and the top part is a flexing bicep, and that's hilarious. I love these guys. They actually inspired me to start lifting again last year, so I like them. Deep Six, yes, the ones responsible for the weapon weight limit. Before they had like a 110-pound weapon, which was absolutely insane and resulted in them breaking one of the box lights in their fight against Nelly the Ellibot, who is unfortunately not here this year. But they're a bunch of like Navy SEALs or something. Yeah, Navy divers. And yes, the Deep Six rule. They wanted to make it bigger. I think BattleBots update described it as someone wanted to build Nightmare with their eyes closed, and they ended up with a hilariously large weapon, which ended up pretty much invariably self-destructing after every single first hit. But it looks like they've learned from that time before. They've added these bars to the back for stability, and if you check out their YouTube channel, their weapon is actually capable of self-righting them. That's so cool to me. I love them. They always entertain. Defender, the second robot of Fast Electric Robots, right? Yes. Fast Electric Robots and the Vasquez family, including Rob Masick, right? That's Rob Masick? Yes, Rob Masick. He's been everywhere. He was the captain of Lucky for a year, and then he jumped ship to Bite Force, and then like Bombshell. I think he was on free shipping at some point. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but he's been everywhere. But he is also very experienced, and the Vasquez family has a lot of years of competing in combat robotics. It's a grappler this time rather than a lifter and spinner. It looks really cool, like the way that it works. Um, I'm really excited to see this in the box. It looks like a really unique concept that we haven't seen before, at least in Battlebots. Double Jeopardy. Yeah, these guys are great. It's a big cannon. These were the guys that helped me win the Battlebots meme contest. Um, yeah, they've got a cannon. I think they have 3 shots in the chamber this year. And while Double Jeopardy never really ends up performing all that well or doing that much damage just because the pneumatics takes up so much space and so much weight, I love seeing unique concepts, and this is definitely one of the most unique. And I'm glad they're back again this year. Dragon Slayer. I think these guys are from Texas? Yeah, Denton, Texas. A rookie. I don't know what this tool is, but looks like they've got a lot of sponsors. It's another vertical spinner. I'll say that much. I don't know much about this team or the past, but yeah, it is a vertical spinner. Duck is back. Hal and Hannah Rucker. So it looks like this is what the robot's mostly going to look like this year. They've got really tough wheels, and they've got this beak, which I'm honestly not sure how it works. But I think I want to check their stats. They do have a 50% win history over the past 3 years. So they are a very strong team, and outside of BattleBots, if you look up Robo games, they have actually beaten Toro Maximus and Last Rites, which are the 220-pound heavyweight versions of Minotaur and Tombstone. So it's not like they're not capable of winning fights. I guess they just haven't had that much luck in BattleBots so far, but I'm glad to see him back. They missed 2020 for Corona, I think, so good to see him again. Endgame, of course. I have no idea what's up with the outfits. Gosh, I mean, I'm a big fan of stupid outfits. I remember posting a picture of myself in a gold jacket and aviators with the caption "Rotator Drip." So it really looks like they've leaned into the really campy kind of humor that they brought with putting the glasses on their robot as a self-rider. And to me, it looks like they're the champions. They're here to have fun. The bot looks great. Endgame printed on the front. I'm not sure. Maybe it still says "End Me" on the bottom. I like this interesting fact. Endgame was finally allowed to return to New Zealand after their loss to the Australian robot Death Roll. I don't know. I don't think Death Roll is back this year, but I'd like to see a rematch between them. Favorite tool? Blackmail. What? Okay. Interesting. They're not Team Oh Yes anymore. It's just Team Endgame. So I guess that's why they don't have the Oh Yes jerseys. I don't know. Free shipping. They're back. Gary Jin and Original Sin. Team Special Delivery. These guys, they have also beaten Tombstone, or Last Rites when this was called Original Sin. They are a strong wedge, and basically the wedge is the real weapon. The lifter is just for show. I remember, like, back in 2018, they essentially just bolted a goofy-looking forklift to it. I mean, that was hilarious, but Original Sin is a legend. And although free shipping hasn't had all that much luck in the battle box so far, I mean, they've got a 38% win rate, they do have the ewability to make some wins against some really powerful opponents. Fusion again, Reese Ewart and Dick Stuplik. Fusion's great. That was one of the bots I saw during my tour to the Waiachi workshop. And gosh, just looking inside the bot, everything is so incredibly compact. And when I was there, Jake was talking about upgrading the speed controller so it doesn't start on fire again like it did last year when it was on top of Tantrum. It also had some other issues with funky gyro physics and stability, and maybe uh, like with both of the weapons getting spun up and then an impact happening. Fusion did not like that, and that's how they ended up losing to like Mad Catter and Tantrum. Uh, but you know, it's a Waiachi robot; they're always built really well, and they were the I want to say 17, 14 seed last year. So they are a strong competitor, even though this is only their second year. Reese did compete with Falcon in the past, and I guess you could think of Fusion as like a successor to Falcon, being another double-ended, double weapon robot. So that's cool, I guess. Chuck Pitzer's back. He's brought a new robot. It looks like essentially Ghost Raptor is a really cool looking robot. Like if you need to show anyone a robot to get them into Battlebots, show them Ghost Raptor. It's got a massive spinning blade. It's got tank tracks. Um, I'm not I'm not sure if it still has the lifter on it. Maybe that's just the angle that the robot's at. Let me see. Yeah, it's still got the lifter. It looks like it's got forks. Um, the paint job is sick. The logo looks like it's straight out of the 90s. Is that a flamethrower? If that's a flamethrower, that's sick. And yeah, Chuck Pitzer's got a mohawk this year. That's fun. I love this. Um, the Ghost Raptor chassis is 12 years old. I did not know this. Um, I mean, Ghost Raptor looks like it always has a new look every year. Like it's very different from the robot it was in 2015. I'm not sure if that's just a change to like the armor setup or the weapon. Um, and I figured they must have had to do a significant rebuild after their fight with Jackpot last year. That was brutal. Gigabyte's back. Um, so this is the Robotic Death Company. It looks like for the picture, they're using the anti-drum armor. That's very cool because last year they had a loss to Copperhead, and so with this flat end, it gives the drum nothing to bite on essentially, so it's better defended for attacks like that. I'm not sure if they still have the first one. Wait, is this oh, the Bounty Hunter. That's cool, wearing his medal from last year. I love that. So yeah, this is the team that's also babysitting Cobalt. So they've got their work cut out for them. Cobalt and Gigabyte are two very hard-hitting machines. Um, maybe they'll have another fight with. Maybe they'll have to fight each other at some point. I don't know, but Gigabyte's a very entertaining robot, and they've come a long way since Invader in Season 2 when they just kept spinning in the middle of the arena for half an hour. So, love them. Glitch, these guys are cool. Um, it's got a unique armor setup. So it's got this like triangle shape. It looks like it's meant to be optimized to fight like undercutters. And I mean, this is the shape of the wedge that ended up beating Tombstone with both Bombshell and Rotator. So it's not like this is a super secret stuff, but it's the first time that we've seen like a robot in this like, I don't know, triangular design, and it looks like it's also running mechanism wheels like Shatter. That's really cool. So I guess it's a situation where you're always going to want your front end pointed to the opponent. We've heard a little bit about Glitch before this year, but yeah, they're at UC Berkeley, which, you know, great school. So these guys are definitely smart, and I hope that we get to see some fun fights out of this bot. Gruff is back. It looks like they've got a tougher front end. They're still running the double flaming cannons. I love their style. You know, the jackets, the orange and black. It's pretty great. Gruff was the 31 seed. Didn't have much luck in the tournament last year, but they're tough and they're still running that Magnum triple alloy. So definitely one to watch out for this year. Hijinks is cool. They were the 29 seed and eventually lost to um, Uppercut by getting hit out of the arena. It looks like the tail end of Hijinks is a little bit tougher this time around. That's pretty cool. One thing that not that many people know is that Jen Herkenroder was also on the team that ran the cheeseburger robot that lost to Hypershock. That was Hypershock's only win of the season, I think, in season 3. So they've definitely come a long way since then. Huge, yes. So it looks like their main weapon is going to be this asymmetrical bar. I think that gives them like the biggest reach. I'm not sure. I like the shirts. Definitely very cool. They did have kind of a tough time last year getting a bad draw in the round of 32 against Whiplash, which is, one of the few bots that can effectively counter Huge. But online, Jonathan Schultz has said that they've made some modifications so that the bar spins way faster, spins up way faster, and if you've seen that one picture of Huge's like backside, there's like 2 extra weapon motors in it, which is crazy. Yeah, gonna see some huge hits from these guys. Also, Hydra is back. They showed a video online of them throwing a 250-pound test weight up, like, I think it was like either 14 or 16 feet, which is the entire height of the Battlebots. So Hydra has the ability to throw a bot literally into the lights, which is absolutely insane. You can see, I think this is Rachel Stuplick, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, he's totally owned the title of villain. Uh, this sounds like an inside joke that I don't get. uh, yeah, so Jake, Richard, and Rachel Tiny Hands Stuplick. Okay. Rich is Dick, Rachel is Tiny Hands, Jake is the only one on the team without a nickname. Better get on that, guys. Okay. Now we got Hypershock. They've got like dark burgundy jackets this time around, and they've added some like orange highlights to the bot. Hopefully, the Self Rider is actually functional this year. Uh, the wedge looks much more solid than it's been in the past, and they're a really enthusiastic team, if nothing else. But if the Hypershock pendulum is saying anything, this should be a good year for them, since last year was a bad year and the year before that was a good year, or something like that. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I think the Hypershock pendulum, that's something I can also attribute to BattleBots update. Hypershock has a perfect track record of building the robot for the very first time every year on site at filming. That's not good. That's really funny though. Icewave, they're great. I love the new black color. I think that's cool. It's the only robot in the competition that still uses a gas-powered engine, which is so sick. It's basically Hazard with a bulb on top. I mean, I guess every square Horror's overhead spinner looks like Hazard, but Icewave is really a monster. Even though they were effectively picked apart by Scorpios in the Bounty Final last year, I mean, do not underestimate them. They absolutely annihilated bots like Razorback and Vanquish. And before the 250 mile per hour rule was put in place in like 2016 or 2018, Icewave could spin up to like 300 miles an hour. Absolutely insane. Jackpot looks like they're about to go to a Christmas party. I guess the green and red is their Vegas combat robotics style. These outfits, they're very eye-catching. So, yes, also a plumber. Very cool. Giant wrench, great for giant. No, that's great. They've got an ace up their sleeves this season. I want to say that is the other spinners that they're using, because I know they have a heart-shaped blade as well. The blade is solid steel, unlike a lot of weapons which are like aluminum with steel teeth, so that's very cool. This spinner, the diamond spinner, actually weighs more than Malice's big red. So, yeah. Pardon my French. This is the team that, along with Team Malice, hosted the Battlebots meme competition, and I'm supposed to be receiving a T-shirt from them any day now. I still haven't gotten it, but I've been told it's been shipped, and yeah. So, Pardon My French is a really cool bot. It's got a massive, like, what, 75-pound drum spinner, and the mini-bot Zoot, which is a lifter. We saw something like with a similar concept with Needle last year on Team Chimera and Tracer. It is a tiny lifter that's capable of lifting 250 pounds. Very cool. Jaeger. I remember seeing the concepts for Jaeger, and back then it was like 3 robots. Each of them weighed 125 pounds, and they'd pick 2 of them for each fight. But it looks like they've only got 2, the overhead saw and the horizontal spinner, the undercutter. Very cool. I'm excited to see what it is. We don't get many multi-bots. The last one was Gemini, and I don't think they're back this year, so I'm excited to see what's up with them. Kraken, yes, this Kraken's a family team. They're from Florida, part of the Florida Bot Mafia. They are, I want to say, the only crusher in the entire competition this year. They did lose to Rusty last year, but they also beat Witch Doctor, so do with that information what you will. Lockjaw's back. I'm really digging the new outfit. The dark green is great. I kind of wish that they'd painted the robot dark green to match it, but, you know, I'm a huge fan of dark green. Donald Hudson's a legend. He's been competing with bots like Dissector and Lockjaw on the reboot. Hopefully he doesn't have those same issues with smoking up, burning up like he always seems to have, and getting stuck in the kill sauce slots. But Lockjaw's always a threat. He was like, what, the 11 seed last year or something like that? Or maybe it was 21. I don't remember exactly what it was. But he had a pretty good seed. He went 2-1 in the regular season, ended up losing to Shatter. So, great robot. Well, he just needs a couple good fights to really make a deep tournament run. Lucky is back. I remember they lost to, I think it was Minotaur and or Lockjaw in the or Despacito tournament finals at some point in like 2018 or something. It's a launcher. That's pretty cool. They're Canadian, right? Yeah, they're from Ottawa. Nobody on the team has met everybody on the team. That is an interesting fact. Mark Demers. This team used to be captained by Rob Masick, but now he's on Team Defender. So I do like the outfits too. They look like they're mechanics at like a car shop or something. That's fun. Yeah. This is another robot, Mad Catter, that you can really tell what robot they lost to last year. Like, you can definitely tell they lost to Tombstone. Like, they've got these 2 big, thick, horizontal, anti-horizontal spinner armor. It looks like they've ditched the hammer. I don't see it anywhere. They've only got 1 lifting arm. It doesn't look like it's modular this year either. That makes sense. I don't think the hammer did much for them anyways. But yeah, entertaining team. They did make the tournament last year. They went, I think, 3-1 in the regular season tournament. And the tournament they lost to Tombstone, so not a bad run, and they're definitely one of the bots to watch out for. Malice is cool. They had a full redesign to make it less wide and more long planned, but I guess those plans are scrapped. The wheels look tougher. They don't have the holes in the wheels. I'm a big fan of Malice, obviously. Yeah, favorite tool, David. Just David. And David was demoted to Dave. There are 3 Davids. They're a very fun team. I think they're great. They were basically the middle seed this last year, losing to Gigabyte in the opening round of the tournament. But they did have a very strong 2-1 season for the rookie year. So with some fine tuning and fixing some of the issues that they had last year, they could be a real threat. Mammoth is fun. Like Ricky Willems and his squad, they always give off the vibe that it's just a bunch of friends hanging out and building a robot, which is it's just such a fun vibe, and I love it. I think this robot is a little bit smaller than the one from last year. It's a little shorter, a little more stout. The weapon bar looks to be way thicker. So yeah, Mammoth. They were seated pretty low in the tournament after going 3-1 in the regular season. So that's pretty cool. Minotaur. They are back. They did skip last year due to like personal reasons and Corona. But oh, look at that! Look at that drum. It's super close to the ground. I know they had issues in like 2019 with the drum scraping the ground, but they've had a long time to perfect this design, and Riobots has been doing this basically since forever. Overhaul is cool. Thank God they didn't show the back of the robot because I guarantee there's an anime girl painted on the back of it. Um, I don't like anime. Let's just say that much. P1, hey, look, it's Luke Bittenbinder. He's back. Brandon Zelinsky has a mustache, and Sarah Powerecki is still there, and Anthony D'Ambrosio. I think he's a common sight to see in the floor posting Facebook group, Battlebots floor posting. Looks like they've got a new set of forks. They've still got the front-facing lifter, the only one of its kind in the competition since Stinger has been retired. I do like their color scheme, the whole racing theme, very fun. Pain Train and Evan Arias, right? That's his name? Evan Arias, yes. Pain Train is like made almost entirely of steel, so it's incredibly compact and incredibly light, incredibly dense, even though it looks like it should be lighter. Really cool. It was having drive issues last year. They couldn't ever seem to drive in a straight line. Um, and all of their teeth fell out during their fight with Smee of all bots. But um, from what we have seen, they do have the ability to hit hard. Their weapon is big. Their weapon is fast, and the robot is well armored. So, and yeah, Perfect Phoenix. I don't know what it is, but this pose that he's in, this is just it's so intimidating. Like this more than anything, this screams, I am going to beat you to death. I love it. Perfect Phoenix. It's named after a Beyblade, and it's also a rebuilt former BattleBots champion Brutality, so definitely a tough robot. Rampage is back. Yeah, another bot where you can definitely tell how they lost and what they did to fix that. They didn't have a wedge last year, so they were just running like forks against Fusion, which ended up like caving in their entire front end, and it was an absolute bloodbath. Uh, I don't think they won last year. Yeah, no, they didn't win last year. They had 2 fights and they lost. They lost to Black Widow. They lost to Black Widow in a judge's decision and got KO'd by Fusion in under a minute. So yeah, but you know these are just it's a family, the Knox family. They're just they really do they really do look like they're having fun, and honestly, that is the most important thing. Retrograde, yes, this is the other bots and stuff robot, built by the same team behind Bloodsport. So Retrograde is an undercutter and a lifter, which is cool. Dual designs, dual weapon designs. We don't see a whole lot of them. I think the last one that did specifically this design, or a spinner and a lifter, or yeah, a horizontal and a lifter, was like Disco Inferno in like 2016. So very cool. Ribot, they were the quarterfinalists that lost to Black Dragon while the entire robot was on fire for like 2 whole minutes. But um, you can tell that these guys are really smart. They go to WPI, which is the school that Paul Ventimiglia graduated from. Um, David Jin has since graduated, but he is still captaining the team. They are a modular robot, so they do have the vertical spinner and the undercutter, and it looks like the undercutter it's much larger this year, which is cool. So that's fun. And they've got like a Game Boy that they use to track all of their like weapon status, which is definitely something that came in handy a couple times for them last year. Riptide, yes. Um, this is another student team. It looks like they are a egg beater vertical spinner. I'm not sure if this is a lifter or a self-riding mechanism. Maybe it's both. I do like the color scheme, black and like bright blue. That's fun. It doesn't look like they're running any forks, so these probably are like lifters slash forks, kind of like what Lockjaw did in like 2018. Rotators back. They are very gold this year. Wow. I love the shiny one, um, the shiny paint job. You know, having a good paint job really can go a long way in getting selected for Battlebots. And Rotator definitely has one of the coolest color schemes. I love black and gold. Rusty is back, and they are boasting a sponsor list consisting of freaking everyone. Like, what the heck is that? They, I was told by Jake Ewert that Rusty actually had to turn down sponsors. One of them, being Team Waiachi. Uh, that's insane. So Dave Eaton's definitely got a lot of resources to be playing around with. He's still got the hammer, still got a bowl. I'm not sure if it's still like a pneumatic hammer. It's definitely not like the reciprocating hammer from last year. Maybe it's like a pneumatic hammer like Chomp does. It doesn't have the self-righting wings, so it uses like the hammer action to self-right. Yeah, Rusty's fun. I hope the eyes still light up. Oh, that's so great. Dave Eaton, never change. Sawblaze, they are back. They've got 4 forks instead of 3. Um, I guess this is like because they lost a tantrum, they had to rethink the fork setup, which is something that hadn't changed in the past few years. Sawblaze, I think they joined the 250 mile per hour tip speed club last year for the weapon. They are always a strong team. They made it, I think, to the quarterfinals this year or last year. They've beaten a lot of good robots. They've beaten Son of Waiachi. They've beaten Witch Doctor. Uh, they beat Whiplash, the semifinalists. So they have the ability to make those wins and make it to the semifinals, the finals. Shatter, yes. They've got the pickaxe, but they also decided to bring the freaking Buster Sword this year, which is great. They've still got forks. Hopefully they have like ridiculously long forks. That would be hilarious. Um, I like the football jerseys that they have with the colors. That's fun. Shatter, I mean, it's a hammer, yeah, but it's also got those Mecanum wheels. It's got the plastic armor. So it's doing a whole lot of really fun, unique things that also end up really improving its performance in the box as well. It was able to take those hits from Captain Shredderator like they were nothing. Love it. Scorpios, yes, they brought a new weapon. It looks like the weapon has more bite to it. I remember last year, it looked like the weapon wasn't the pointy side wasn't making contact with like Perfect Phoenix, so they I guess had to rethink the weapon shape. But otherwise, it looks like they've gone with a very similar setup to what it's been in the past. Um, you know, uh, they've said that Scorpios is a very defensively minded robot, and they definitely proved that by beating Tombstone last year. So pretty great stuff. They've come a long way from being the bot that shoved itself into the screws and died back in 2016. Alright, then Slammo. They are no longer sponsored by Mobot, which is why they removed the W from their name, and it Honestly, the paint job is awesome. It looks like something that should be viewed with 3D glasses. Um, so, it's a grappler. They had some good wins against, I think, it was, who did they beat? It was Pain Train. They did beat Pain Train last year. They don't have the best win rate, but they did beat War Easy, and they did beat Pain Train. They did make the round of 32, and ended up losing to Black Dragon. So we'll see what they bring this year. Come on. Okay, Smee. Joe Fabiani's bot is like 14 feet long. It has like little undercutters here, and the body is made almost entirely of plastic. This is hilarious. I love this thing. Look at this absolute shit post of a robot and builder info page. Eee. Just someone should add up all of the E's on the page. Like that'd be hilarious. Okay, Sub-Zero. They've still brought Spitfire, the fire-breathing drone. I think they're the only one that still actually uses a drone because everyone a couple years ago decided after the Rakening that they were not worth it. And yeah, they definitely would have had to rebuild Spitfire after getting absolutely annihilated by Witch Doctor last year. That was hilarious. If it weren't for the Rakening, that would definitely be the funniest thing to happen to a drone in Battlebots. But Logan Davis is definitely an experienced builder, competing for 20 years, and as we saw from their performance in the Bounty tournament last year, they are a very solid bot, and they are a very effective pit crew. Switchback is a newcomer to BattleBots, so they're doing like a articulated drum, kind of like Saw Blaze, except instead of a saw, it is a drum, and that is cool. It looks also to be. It looks like it's very compact. Um, I wanna. I. It looks to me like the weapon motor and everything is contained within this box right here. That's really cool. And it looks like it's like totally symmetrical as well. It doesn't have any forks, which can be a positive or a negative, but the weapon looks mean. It's a very unique concept. I can see why they were selected for BattleBots this year. Yes, Tantrum is back, not captained by Aaron Hill, since he's on Blip. Alex Krantz and Ginger Schmidt. You know, seems reasonable as running two robots this year, Blip and Tantrum. Tantrum did really well last year, being one of the 4 semifinalists. They upset Sawblaze and Bloodsport. So, with good driving, Tantrum really can go far. Oh, I got mad. Tombstone, yes. I love this. So, Tombstone's back. It looks like they've totally rebuilt the frame and everything. You know, Tombstone, Tombstone is the epitome of hit it until they die. And you know what happens? They usually die. A 77% win rate over the past 5 seasons. Tombstone is mean, and I don't think I have to tell you that, honestly. I mean, just look at it. Weapon, wheels. It doesn't get more straightforward than that. All right, Uppercut is back as well, and they always have so much fun with their robot. They've got the uppercut punching weapon, and they are also the butt of like 90% of the dick jokes in BattleBots. But it looks like they have also brought back Helping Hands, their mini bot. They said that they had to cut Helping Hands last year to make space for their upgraded weapon system on Uppercut itself. So I'm interested in where they actually cut weight, or maybe they'll only be running Helping Hands if they're not running the heavy anti-horizontal wedge. Valkyrie's back. It looks like it's really low to the ground this time, even more so than in years past. But Valkyrie, it hits hard. I think Matt Vasquez said that Valkyrie was the spinner that he was most scared of in the competition or something along those lines. So you know that this is a serious team. They absolutely picked apart Rotator, which I guess it's a rite of passage. You know, picking apart Rotator is how you prove that you're a um, really deadly spinner. Death Roll did that the year prior, so that's kind of funny to me. All right, Whiplash. Unfortunately, the runner-up last year, which means that they definitely lost this year. The runner-up curse. Anybody not named Tombstone that makes it to and loses in the finals is doomed to have a crappy year the year after. You know, it happened to Bombshell, it happened to Minotaur, it happened to Witch Doctor. Uh, it's gonna happen, guys. And speaking of Witch Doctor, you know, I always associate them with Whiplash because they're always right next to each other on the bot list. But you know, it looks like they're much lower to the ground this year. I love their design, and they've gone for a like more metallic purple instead of the like more matte purple they had before. Uh, their bot hits hard. It's well armored. It's well designed. Witch Doctor, it's basically one of the most well-rounded bots in the tournament. So, and looking at their win rate over the past several years, I mean, like 63%, that's good. Of course, their real standout year was 2019, where they made it all the way to the finals and then had a mediocre 2020 with 50%. Their only real losing year was in 2015. But you see these losses? This is Bronco and Tombstone. And honestly, if you add in like their 2 more wins from the Amazon competition where they beat Bronco and Tombstone, like yeah, these guys have what it takes. Yeti is the final bot on the list. After this, it just loops back around to the 2020 robots. And this is a collaboration between Greg Gibson and Christian Carlberg of C2 Robotics. That's fun. Christian Carlberg and Overdrive. Um, yeah, Overdrive. The thing that most people know Overdrive for is Carissa Carlberg yelling, "Get out of there, Dad," while getting absolutely wailed on by Witch Doctor. Um, yeah, if you're out there, I'm sorry. But you know, Yeti is a fan favorite. It's got the lifters, it's got the drum spinner. It hits hard. I remember one of their most memorable hits was when they were fighting Rainbow, the Russian horizontal spinner. It looks like it's mostly redesigned this year, a total redesign. It doesn't have the big weapon motor sticking out of the top like it did a couple of years ago. It's very streamlined, very sleek. It's come a long way since being one of the backup robots in 2016. So, very cool. I'm glad to see them all back. I know officially Greg Gibson retired a couple of years ago, but he's back and Christian Carlberg's on the team, so they've got a really experienced builder on it. Yeti's fun. Glad they're back. And so, yeah, that is the entire roster for this year. You know, just loops back to ages from last year. So, yeah, tell me which robot you think is the best. Tell me what robot you were most excited to see and who you think will win the Giant Nut.